Welcome to my channel and my video. As you can probably tell from the way I sound, I have a cold. I'm feeling, let's just say, slightly rough. However, I really wanted to get this video filmed, so I'm just going to plow ahead and do it. This is going to be another Eat With Me video, but this one is going to be breakfast. So I'm going to take you through to the kitchen and get my breakfast assembled. I'm having cereal today, and I will do this the way I've done the previous two videos. It'll be a mix of me talking and then voiceovers while I'm actually eating. Recently on my Instagram stories, I had asked people what sort of things they had as fear foods for each meal, and one thing that came up for breakfast was cereal, particularly unmeasured cereal. This is my cereal of choice at the moment. Yes, it's got hazelnuts in it, but the pieces are so small I can't really taste them, so I'm fine with it. Now, I am going to be measuring my cereal, which you may think is a bit counterproductive, and potentially you may be right. I have been completely open in these videos. I am in recovery. I am not yet recovered. So we're kind of hopefully going through this recovery process together. The reason that I measure the cereal is to make sure I put enough in the bowl, because if I do it by sight, I'm probably not going to put in as much as I should. I weigh out 2 servings because that is what I was told by dietitians equaled a sensible serving of cereal, and when you look at what the actual serving size looks like, that is not a portion of cereal. If at any point you want me to do a video eating the recommended serving sizes of things, I'm happy to do so. It wouldn't be linked in as an eating disorder video though, it would just be a general one for a bit of a laugh to see how ridiculous some serving sizes actually are. Enough talking, Kaz, get boring.
So I'm sitting here editing this, and I've just listened to what I've said about my reasons for measuring out the bowl of cereal, and I'm thinking, what utter bullshit, Kaz. You have a bowl of cereal several times a week. You don't need to be measuring it on the scales. You know what it looks like to have a sensible portion of cereal by now. It's just an excuse, and it's just the disorder trying to keep its claws in you and keep a hold on you. And I hadn't actually realised that until this very moment. So you know what? Next time I have cereal, I'm not going to measure it out. I don't need to.
Because I don't want to be triggering, I'm not going to tell you how much cereal I have weighed out. I'm only going to tell you it is double what the recommended serving size is on the box. I'm actually 2 grams over that. It's 2 grams. It is not the end of the world. I'm not going to stand here and pick out individual bits of cereal until I hit bang on the number I was aiming for, because it doesn't matter. The milk, I do not measure, I just pour on. I do want to apologise if I do sound absolutely horrible, and if listening to me is like nails on a chalkboard. There's really nothing I can do.
I mean, I don't measure the milk. Why am I measuring the cereal?
I think I'll be adding milk and fruit and fibre to my shopping list for Tesco this week. So 1 bowl of cereal, let's go through and eat. This is probably going to be a fairly short video because it doesn't take me that long to eat cereal. And I thought that I would address the subject of fear foods in it, hence why I'm having a fear food that came up for some of you guys. I really hope that even if you're not tackling that fear food right now, maybe tomorrow or next week, you might feel able to watch this video, get your own bowl of cereal ready and eat it along with me watching this video, because there is nothing to be scared of. This cereal is not going to jump out the bowl and attack me. There's no reason to be scared of it. In fact, it is, in my opinion, delicious. Nutritious? Probably. And yeah, I like eating it.
I think when we have a fear food, it's really easy to build it up in our heads into this really big thing. And the more we avoid it and the longer we avoid it for, the bigger the fear becomes.
It's definitely a cold I've got. I have done lateral flow tests and it's not COVID. Apologies if my eyes start watering or I start coughing or anything. It is because I am ill. But anyway, it's really affected my sense of taste. I'm sure everyone watching this will have had a cold at some point in their life. This is actually the first cold I think I've had in over 5 years. I'm generally good at avoiding them. I don't have that much of an appetite, and it would be really easy for me to skip breakfast or eat less because I'm not really hungry for it and it just doesn't taste like it normally does. But that would be so counterproductive. My body is fighting an infection. It needs food and fuel to be able to do that.
It's why in recovery, I think if we find ourselves beginning to fear or avoid a food, we need to tackle it ASAP.
And I have actually been resting. I spent most of the last couple of days in bed listening to podcasts.
And of course, I'm sure we all know the key to doing that is also consistency. Do it over and over again.
When I do these videos and I'm talking about things relating to eating disorders, I like to stick to what I know and what I have experienced. I don't feel I could really sit here and talk to you in depth about something I haven't personally been through.
Side note, the glands around my neck are so swollen and my face looks so huge that I almost didn't upload this because of how big I look.
I need to blow my nose. I will edit out any nose blowing. I don't know if it's the same for any of you guys watching right now, but I don't really have any fear foods. And if you've watched my other videos, you'll probably have noticed.
It's of course quite possible I do have fear foods. I just haven't realised they're fear foods yet. But I guess I'll find out.
For me, it's more about fear quantities. Even when I was at my most unwell, I could still eat chocolate. It was just the amount of it.
I found with myself there was absolutely no logic or pattern to the foods that I did fear.
But I do know the only way to conquer fear foods is to eat them over and over and over again and just teach yourself there's nothing to be afraid of.
One thing that does stick in my mind from the time when I did have specific fear foods, piece of chocolate, yeah, no bother. Banana, hell no. I think the fact that this illness is so varied and individual is one of the things that does make it hard for people to treat.
And I'm definitely not saying it's easier for me because I don't have specific fear foods. It's not easy for anyone, as I'm sure you'll know.
I guess what I mean is it's still difficult, just not quite in the same way.
I have had fear foods in the past, and I am going to be making some unlisted videos talking more in depth about my illness, my life, my current situation. If you want to have access to these videos, just send me a DM on Instagram. I'm thinking of it as kind of like Patreon, but you don't pay me anything. So the reason that I'm going to keep the videos unlisted for the moment is because I don't want to trigger someone if they come across one by accident. And also not everyone visiting my channel wants to see that kind of content. And it will just make me feel a bit more comfortable knowing I've got a bit of control over who's seeing it.
There's every chance that I would make the unlisted videos public at some point in the future.
I don't know yet how often I'll be uploading them or exactly what the content will be. It's just going to depend entirely on what I'm motivated to do at the time.
That said, I do already have quite a few ideas.
I hadn't planned to film this morning, mostly because I do feel rough, and it is just a cold, and I'm very lucky. It could be COVID, it could be something worse, and it's not. But part of me thought, well, it's important perhaps to show that feeling unwell is not an excuse to let old behaviours and old thought patterns creep in.
I don't know about you guys, but having something like a cold can just be a massive head fuck for me.
Less talking, more eating, this is going zombie.
I'm just trying to keep in my mind that even though physically I'm less active, it doesn't mean that my body needs less fuel and food, because it's busy trying to fight off this cold. So it needs all the help I can give it.
I don't know that I'm going to be challenging everyone's fear foods in these videos, but I might use them to give me some ideas as to what I could film that might be helpful.
As always, you can drop me a comment below or a DM on Instagram if there's anything in particular that you would like me to cover.
I'm also thinking it could be good to go live maybe once a week or once a fortnight as a kind of support chat. So like say you've had your dinner, you're struggling a bit, there'll be a pre-arranged time where I'll go live and you guys can just chat to me about anything and everything, just as a means of distraction. Because I have less than 1,000 subscribers, I am limited to the number of people who can view a live and also how long it can be, I think. Right now, I don't have the answers to what those figures actually are.
Coping after eating was one of the hardest things for me.
But if that's something you would find useful or you would like me to look into, let me know.
I am by no means any kind of recovery guru, and I don't have all the answers, but I'm just someone who's willing to go on camera and talk about these things and maybe help a few other people who are also struggling with similar issues.
I'm just trying to think of things that would have been helpful for me when I was first starting my recovery journey.
I've been someone who manages okay to actually eat the food, but sitting afterwards and dealing with it, that's hard.
As an adult, living alone.
And I think if you don't have someone there to support you, distract you, maybe just reassure you that it's okay, everything's fine, nothing bad or terrible is going to happen. Just having that sometimes for me could be enough, and it would have been great if I could have had a resource that I could watch or listen to that could give me that.
I actually feel like I just want to go back to bed, but I won't.
No, instead of going back to bed, I am lying on the sofa under a blanket doing the voiceovers and editing this video. But it's a way of resting, and that is just what my body is telling me to do. So I'm listening.
But my Instagram is Kaz Loves Cakes, exactly the same name as I use on YouTube. And you can always DM me if you don't want to leave a public comment with anything that you would like to see or that you would find helpful. And if there's anything I'm doing that is not helpful, please don't be afraid to tell me that as well. Just please do it nicely.
I know I've said it before and I'm absolutely going to say it again, but with these kinds of videos, I am looking very much to you guys to guide me as to what would help you and what you would find useful, because I know what works for me, but I don't know what works for everyone else.
I really am running out of things to talk about now.
Sitting watching me eat does kind of get a bit samey, and I don't want these videos to become boring and repetitive, and that is why I'm trying to focus on one specific issue in each of these videos, so fear foods in this case.
I've got to the bit where it's basically just the milky bit. I can't show you because it will spill out the bowl. I am going to drink it, but I'm not going to do that on camera because nobody needs to see that. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully the next time you see me, I will be back to my usual self. In the meantime, please do take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.